Well, quick updates. Many months on, the things got in the way, but finally made a start on stripping her down. Here we are with the manuals out. I had to take the top rail out at the back to get it out. You can see the tone generator. One of the things I have noticed on the tone generator is that there is oiling threads broken. They're the one to the motor there. It goes down to the oiling point on the axle down there. And at the other end, common one that gets broken down at this end. Which I can't quite see at the moment. It's disappeared. But anyway, it goes down to here from the oiling tray here. So there's two oiling threads that will need replacing. Manuals out to start work on those. They'll be stripped down. We're going to take the keys out, put new key combs in, and work on the drawbar, ratchety drawbars with resistance wires broken there. As far as the cabinet's concerned, it's interesting that when they sprayed it has been a spray job, is actually they obviously sprayed it with the manuals in place, because you can see the outline of the lower manual here. It's just been masked off at some point when they sprayed it. And there's the original finish underneath. However, we're not going to be going back to that given the state of the rest of it. So the first thing to do, I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up that. I'm going to try and do it with the tone Jenny in place. I think at the moment I might change my mind about this. I'm going to cover it up. Let's try and get that, glue that front rail back in and repair the damage at this end, and we'll carry on from there. Okay, just to show there's been a little bit of progress, first piece of wood going in there and the front rail glued on. Okay, a little bit of a fast forward now, because the cabinet's been stripped completely now, rubbed down, sanded off, and painted black using a roller, just a roller black. Not the cleverest of finishes necessarily, but it's not a Steinway piano black. But then on the other hand, this is for gigging with. It's going to go out on the road and get knocked about. So there she is, and on its custom wheelbase, all ready to start reinstalling items as they're renovated as we go along. So big step forward anyway. You'll notice the this right hand end where the damage was. And here's the damage end now. It's been fully repaired and painted, we saw before, and doesn't look an awful lot of difference to the old end, to the other end. So quite pleased with that, really. It seems to have come together quite well. There's the cabinet painted up on its wheels with new grill cloth, which is Marshall cream and black check grill cloth, but looks quite well on this with the black and the gold trim. Just thought I'd record a little bit about the state of the manuals before I really start working on them. I've stripped off all the keys on the top manual, the usual 50 years of crud in the key bed there. This thing is being treated to a whole new set of key combs, so these will come off and be replaced with new ones, and a good cleaning up around the preset rack, preset bar there. We'll also be replacing the up-stop, down-stop felts as well, as a matter of course, as we go on. And then also tackling in here Just check the condition of these vibrato and percussion switch boxes, just to make sure there's no dendrites in there. They're all nice and clean, and try and get to the bottom of why the vibrato chorus switch wasn't making an awful lot of difference. As you remember from the start of the thing, it wasn't really producing much change in effect, and I'm still not sure why that is. Over here we've got all the keys out, and they'll all be cleaned up and polished up before they go back in. So reconstruct job. Okay, I just thought I'd do a quick update while I've got the manuals apart, just to show sure of the work that I've been doing. Both manuals are getting new key combs here. There's a fair amount of side-to-side movement in the keys before I stripped it down, and these will restore it back to a smooth action. Also new up stop and down stop felts here, which is where the keys sit on. The upper manual's already been done. Keys are being polished, of course, as they all nice and smooth. And the preset keys equally cleaned up. The preset mechanism normally has a grease on it, and that had just gone absolutely solid over the years, 50 years old. So that's all been cleaned off, and it'll be re-greased. The preset key, the tabs there, equally there's grease on these, and these have got completely messed up as well. So these are all getting polished as they go back on, and it'll look good. So once that's done, I'm going to get the bus bars out, see what state they're in. There's some work to be done on, as I noted at the start, on the drawbars, where there's some which have lost their resistance wires and now turned into ratchet drawbars. So that's going to need a bit of work as well, but we're getting there. Okay, I've got the manuals back together, having done all the up stop down stop felts and the key combs and everything, and I thought while I'd be at it and have the manuals out, let's take a look at the bus bars and see what condition they're in, because with this being such a bad condition organ, you would suspect that it's been a bit of a road warrior and could be a bit chewed up, to say the least. So the manuals are upended, because that's the easy way to get these bus bars out, because you've got to handle them like fuel rods. Plutonium fuel rods. You take them out vertically because they're such a bugger to get back in. And I've taken the hatches off, and so get some light on this. This is the upper bus bar. The rod is in the way. I'll have to take that out when I get to those. This is the lower bus bar. I've exposed the bus bars, and I've taken one out. I thought it would just be interesting just to take a look for anybody not familiar with what they look like. And here they are. So the bus bar is a long strip there, you can see. And if we can try and zoom in, I've got a match and a pin to try and get an idea of a sewing pin, just to try and get an idea of scale of this. And what the bus bar has on it, there we are, we can just about see the pin if it'll focus that closely. I'm not sure that that it will, but on the bus bar is a fine palladium wire. There's the pin, and you might just about be able to see it balanced on the top of the wire. It's on the top of the bus bar itself, a very, very fine wire of palladium that is, I don't know, probably electronically arc welded or tacked on some way onto the bar. Not quite sure of the method. and what you look for is deep grooves and pitting in that, because sometimes it can be chewed right through and the palladium wire then sticks up. You might just be able to see some slight notching in the wire, nothing too serious, but in a bad case the wire can be pulled off and stick up, and then it causes all sorts of funny things called ciphers, which are odd notes and tones that get in the way and sound off at all by themselves. Not very desirable. So and of course the converse of this is that each key contact also has a little strip of palladium wire, and they can get worn as well. So just to give you an idea anyway. But on this, on the lower manual at least, not looking too bad. Well, okay, covers back on because having taken out one of the upper manual bus bars, much the same story as the lower, fortunately. Very little wear, slightly more perhaps, as you might expect on the upper manual. Tends to get used more, but pretty good. So I've bunged it back in and just shifted them on a little bit, the bus bars, using the bus bar shifter, just to move them onto a fresh spot. So hopefully good for another 50 years. I'm quite surprised about that. I was fully expecting to see some very worn bus bars, but I'm glad that they're not. So good news there. The Vibrato line box is off at the moment, off the organ, while I've got the manuals out. The original wax capacitors here were quite seriously out of spec, so and the vibrato wasn't sounding too good before I dismantled it, so some new caps going in there and new resistors while I'm about it. Okay, I'm cleaning up the drawbars here. Already had the drawbar base apart and cleaned all that up inside, but I'm now working through the drawbars. And you may remember at the start, before I dismantled this organ, I mentioned that some of the drawbars were acting as ratchet drawbars, i.e. as you pull them out there wasn't a smooth transference from one sound level to the next. They were going in jumps. And that's due to the smaller resistance wire under the drawbars being broken. So I'll try and show you what I mean here. And this is what we're talking about. This is the head of the drawbar, and underneath here is the resistance wire. You just see it looks like a small hair running from the tip back to the other contact there, and it's got a small resistance, about 1.5 ohm resistance built into that, so there's the contact goes over the two contacts. There's two contacts on the other side as they go over the drawbars. You get a smooth transference of sound without any jumps. The early organs didn't have this. So just to compare, on this one the little resistance wire is missing, so I've got to solder in either a new piece of resistance wire or a 1 ohm 1/8 watt resistor, which is just small enough to fit in. So fiddly job, but it has to be done. There's about 19 of these broken throughout, which is quite a lot. I've never known an organ quite as bad as this. So it's had a rough life, so probably accounts for it. We'll see what we can do with it anyway.